Kids don't forget.
Kids don't forget.
You kids don't forget.
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 Charlene, how are you?
Hey, Kelly, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I really appreciate you being here today.
Absolutely. You know, it took a little convincing because, not quite my speed, but I am so glad you included me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that being said, did I say your name correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Has your name ever been mispronounced in the history of your life?
No, Charlene is Charlene. You can't get it wrong.
Now, about, let's say 15 years ago, Anthony Hamilton made a song about you. Do you love it? Is your favorite song ever?
I love the song. Okay, I think, regardless of your name, you love the song, but I do truly love that song.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, he sang it to me.
From 2003. So yeah, right.
Yes.
Are there any other songs with your name in it?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so.
But that's the one that stands out.
But that's the one. I think that one stands out for a lot of people because even when I was coming in, Rose said that Charlene. I've been singing that song since I heard your name. So yes, I think that's one of those songs. Like even passports go, I hate when I hear that song. So it's like pretty cool.
Did you have cool. Any nicknames growing up?
I did not. Growing up, no. And I can't remember, but I think my father really didn't like nicknames.
Okay.
He wanted you to use your full name. Your name is Charlene. Charlene's your name. And that's kind of stuck with me.
Right.
As an adult, there are a few people in my life that do call me.
I want to comment on that real quick.
Yes.
Because I'm the same as your dad. Well, I don't mind using nicknames if it's some derivation of your name. Like, if your name is Tamika and I call you Mika, I don't have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with if you're like 40 and I'm still calling you butt or like I can't do that. I'm like, she's too big for that. I'm not calling her that, right? So yeah.
Yeah, no. My father just never. And granted, I'm not 100% sure this is him, but for some reason, I'm the same way. When I was naming my children, I didn't want people calling, like my daughter's name is Antoinette. Okay. I didn't want people calling her Tony. Her name is beautiful. Don't shorten it.
I like Antoinette.
Yes, it's a beautiful name.
But I can imagine she gets Net.
She gets Net, she gets Tony, she gets, Aunt. She gets all
right,
kinds.
You can't help it.
Yeah, they break her name up in so many different ways. So, yes, but I love the name.
And it depends on who it is. Name. Like, she might hate Net, but if it's the guy she likes.
Yeah. Oh,
she like, yo, Net,
she
what's
likes
up?
nicknames. Her nickname, I think, is Angel. That's the nickname she gave herself. So.
Okay. But I'm sorry I cut you off. So, as an adult, people have called you what?
Well, there's one person, and she calls me Sharbar. And I would hate it if anybody else did it, but because of her, it's like in term of endearment.
Right.
I absolutely love her doing it. I don't know if I would want anybody else doing it, but I do like her doing it. And
who is that?
That's Aisha.
Aisha.
Yes.
So, if you were in like some airport in Seattle and somebody says Sharbar, you would immediately
know it was her. I would know it was her.
Like, what are you doing here?
Exactly. And my best friend for more than 30 years, she calls me Shar. Every once in a while. She usually calls me Charlene, but every once in a while she'll go Shar.
Okay. Give her a shout out.
Oh, Michelle.
Shout out to Michelle. Shout out to Michelle. Okay.
And then I have a best friend.
Right.
And she has a best friend who's a male. And so that's Raj, Danielle, and then, of course, me. And we always joke that Danielle is my best friend.
Okay.
And he goes, no, she's my best friend. I've known her longer. I'm like, oh, please. I done took her from you. You just don't. We always joke that she's our best friend. And that's our going thing. And he'll call me Lean.
Okay.
And he's the only, those are the only three people that ever really call me outside of Charlene.
And everybody else is Charlene. Got it. Yes. Now, where are you from?
I'm from North Philadelphia.
You're from North Philadelphia?
Yes, I grew up in Philly.
Really?
I'm from North Philadelphia, yes, 25th and Haggard.
Now, I looked that up. And 25th and Haggard, interestingly, is in Strawberry Mansion.
Yes.
You personally have never called it that. You're like,
No.
I'm from North Philly.
I'm from North Philly. I know it is called the Strawberry Mansion section,
Right.
and that is where I went through my whole childhood, all the way up through high school.
And a lot
I
of them
never
say,
left that area.
a lot of them say I'm from Mansion, right? They just shorten it to Mansion.
No,
you
never
you
called
say
it
I'm
that.
from North Philly.
Called it North Philly. I always have, and I don't know if it's because of my age, per
Okay,
se,
okay.
or because I've just never called it Mansion.
Now,
Yes.
how would you describe your neighborhood growing up?
I don't. North Philly has never been a safe place, but it's never been. It's home. It was home, so I felt safe there. I had no choice. That's where I lived. So.
Okay. Now, when you say it's never been safe, what do you mean?
We would have gangs. I remember in high school when we'd have meetings, like assemblies where they would talk about gang violence and show you people being beat up. And yeah, we
Really?
had a lot of gangs. We had a lot of just I think the life was hard there, so people had to make hard decisions.
Okay. Single family homes?
No, row homes.
Row
Beautiful, big row homes. North Philly, as much as you may say it's not it is starting to be more dilapidated now.
Right.
But when I was coming up, North Philly had big, beautiful homes. Like when I went to get my own place, I wanted a place with big rooms because my house had big rooms.
Okay.
Where I grew up in, and you really couldn't find that in Delaware unless you had a lot of money, which I didn't.
Right.
So, North Philly was, to me, it was home. It was where I grew up. The neighbors, like the difference between now and then, and why I feel like it was safe. My neighbors looked out for you, good and bad. So if you were
right.
if you were doing something wrong, the neighbors were there to tell your parents. If you were doing something good, they'd be like, "Hey, it's good seeing you, Charlene," or whatever. But I remember distinctively I was going to cut school. I'd never done it before.
Okay.
And this was in junior high. And my neighbors saw me going the opposite direction of my school. And they were like, "Where you going?"
On it.
I was like, "I'm going to school." And I turned around and I went to school.
And the neighbor probably was like,
And they, the thing is, you could get in trouble with the neighbor. The neighbor could actually call you out, and not only call you out, but could actually spank you and take you home.
Right.
And your parents would get you too. So
Okay. So your block, your neighborhood was truly a
I
village.
felt safe there. Yes, I felt very safe there. I spent a lot of my time on the block. Like, you had to be in before the lights went out.
Okay.
I just would not, I spent a lot of time on my porch. I love jumping rope.
Right.
It's double dutch.
Okay.
Loved it. Hopscotch.
Right.
So
Right.
those things, when you're growing up, you don't see the things that you don't have. You enjoy the things that you do have. And I think I've learned to appreciate more being now what I give my kids. I give them way more than I ever had, but I don't think they could enjoy. They don't have the joy of the things that I did when we didn't have, like just buying a rope, extension rope, and tying it up and using it to jump rope.
Right.
They wouldn't even think of that.
Right.
There's games and $65 for a game where we spent
Right.
$2-3 for a rope. Yeah.
Now, speaking of which, me personally, I never knew where the girls got the rope from. Where do you guys get it from?
You go to the store and you can. It was funny you should say that because I was at a supermarket the other day. It's clothesline. It's just
Oh, it's clothesline?
Yes, it's a clothesline that's got the plastic covering over it.
Right.
Because it has to be with the plastic so it'll turn.
Right.
So it's just clothesline, and you tie the ends and you make.
I never knew to this day that it was clothesline
Yes,
ever.
it's clothesline. It's funny because I was in a supermarket and I
Because
looked
they have
at
the cloth clothesline.
Yes.
And they have the plastic clothesline.
Yes, and
Okay.
you need the
got
plastic
it.
one.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
it. Yeah.
So I do want to say this.
Uh-huh.
When the average person who's not from North Philly thinks of North Philly,
Yes.
you instantly think crime, you think gangsters, you think drama, you think everybody is like super hard. Do you get that a lot when you tell people you're from North Philly and they get shocked?
Yeah, people say you're not from North Philly. I get that a lot, and I'm like, yeah, I grew up in North Philly, but
Like, you
just
from the hood.
Anywhere. Yes, straight. But just like every place has all kinds of people, right?
Right.
And when I was growing up, I always joked. Oh no, I was serious. I would say I'm never gonna date a drug dealer because they ain't gonna kidnap me to get to him.
Right.
So like it was like things for me. I always thought like I would walk around and I felt people's eyes look dead.
Okay.
Like life had gone by them. They didn't enjoy life, or it just, to me, it looked like they no longer was trying. They have given up.
Okay.
And I never wanted that for myself. I always knew there was more. So for me, it taught me I was going to live life better. I didn't know what more was, but in my head, because you don't, when you live in areas like that, you don't go to a lot of places outside of it, right? Like
Right. Most people, their neighborhood is their world.
Is your world. So you don't know what else is in that world. But in my head, I never quite fit in. I just never quite fit in. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Okay.
And I always wanted more, but I didn't know what that more was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So with that being said, were you an only child?
No.
Okay. Are you the oldest, the youngest, or the middle?
I'm a true middle child.
A true middle
A
child.
true middle child. I
So,
have an
okay.
older brother
You have a younger brother
and a younger brother. Yes.
and an older brother. Got
Yes.
it. So imagine you are 10 years old right now.
Yes.
How old are your two brothers?
If I'm 10, my oldest brother is 11,
Okay.
and my younger brother is 4.
Interesting. So you're truly in the middle.
I'm truly in the middle, and because I'm the only girl,
The only girl.
so that, and you know, I always say my mom had her firstborn, her baby boy, and then
Right.
she had her baby, so I really felt like a middle child.
So
Yeah.
you were truly Jan Brady, like Marsha.
Yeah.
So what was that like growing up?
Oh gosh. Well, you know, even when I say I don't feel like I fitted in my neighborhood, I didn't fit in my family either. It's really
Okay.
weird to say that, but everybody.
You'd be surprised how common that is, though.
Yeah, but it was more visual because I'm light skinned. And even then, I think I was lighter than I am now.
Okay.
And my brother's very brown. My mom, brown skin. My dad, beautiful brown people I grew up with. So when you look at that and you don't quite look like your family.
So wait, you were the only light-skinned person in your family?
The only light-skinned person in my immediate, even past my immediate family, my grandmother, my grandfather,
Right.
their children. Yes, I was the only truly light-skinned person.
Okay.
And when the people you love don't quite look the way you do, you kind of wonder why. You know, you go, I want to be like them. So I never, you know how people say, oh, being light-skinned is this big deal.
I had a conversation with somebody yesterday who said even among black people, like light-skinned people, like there's a division between light-skinned and dark-skinned, like in general.
And it shouldn't be.
And it shouldn't be.
And people think
but light-skinned
somehow
people are
that's
kind of
better.
like elevated. Right,
No,
exactly.
But it's not.
In your world, it wasn't.
It wasn't. And for me, it wasn't. Like, somebody looking at me might have seen something different, but for me, I wanted to look like those that I love. I wanted
Okay.
to be more like, you know.
So you consciously felt this and thought this as a kid?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, because even when we had a family picture that we took,
Okay.
I didn't look like I belonged in the family.
Right, like you were adopted or something.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd hear that a lot. You were adopted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it makes you not feel like, you know, you're, I don't know. I know my family loved me. There was no difference in how I was treated then.
Right.
Well, yeah, I had 2 brothers. There was a difference. But you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't that kind of difference. It was just that difference you feel when you don't feel like you fit in
So
the same
you
way.
spent the bulk of your childhood trying to figure out how to fit in.
Yeah.
And you said that.
Into the neighborhood, into my family. And yeah.
Wow.
Just fitting in.
So you went out of the way within your household and in the neighborhood to show everybody that you were a nice person. Like that's how you were going to kind of.
Yeah, I think that still stands today.
Okay.
I think when people see me, I want them to see a nice person.
Right.
That I'm a nice person. Because let's be honest, when you're light skinned, you immediately get, oh, she's stuck up. Oh, she's full of herself. Oh, and I'm none of those things. And if you took 5 minutes to get to know me, you would realize I'm none of those things.
Right.
But because.
Well, just to make it clear, you immediately get that from your own people.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Got
yes.
it.
Yes, my own people.
Right.
People that's supposed to, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
okay.
a good point. Yeah.
You also mentioned that, like, with being the main one who was light skinned, you like to like fade into